Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's Canadian Retro. I have another pickups video for you here. Kind of interesting stuff that I found today. A couple items that came in the mail from eBay, but for the most part, things that I found just thrifting today. I'm really happy to actually find some stuff and a lot of really cool, unique items I think here. So let's get started immediately. The first things I'll show you actually came from eBay, and I'm pleased with one of them. The other one was really my own fault. I don't think there was a picture with the auction, but I don't think the person described it very well. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at the listing and just see if I made a mistake or if they did, but I'll show you this right now. First thing that I got was a copy of 720 for the NES. It's really beat up. This is the one that I'm not impressed with. I didn't think it was in this kind of condition or I wouldn't have bought it, but I paid a fairly reasonable price for it, but I thought I was getting something that was a little bit better shaped than this, for sure. I mean, the cartridge itself is fine. It's got stickers and stuff all over it, but the label on it is completely beat up, like it's all wrinkled there, and then this part's like coming right off. I mean, I could glue that back down, but still, that's pretty bad shape, pretty rough. The next one here is a really excellent copy, actually. Beautiful copy of Generations Lost. I can't remember where it is I saw this. I think this was in the NES Pursuit. I think this is one of the games that they were showing or something like that. I can't remember. But when I saw gameplay footage of it, I thought I'd go out and find myself a copy. I found a really cheap copy on eBay, so I thought I would pick it up. So pretty cool right there. Don't have it in my collection already, so now I do. Pretty excellent. The next things I'll show you, actually I skipped out during lunchtime today from work and dropped by my local Goodwill and picked up a couple items, so I'll get to those first. So the first item that I found there was this copy right here of Super Mario Land. It came in one of the hard plastic cases that I think the games came in back in the day. There it is. I already have this in my collection, but because it had the case on it and everything, and it was half price day, I paid $2 for that. So pretty wicked. At the same time, I also found this, which I'm really impressed with. It's such a cool controller. It's for the original Xbox. It's the Incredible Hulk Marvel controller. I mean, look at that. It's super cool. I think this used to have on here probably some like company logo or something like that. Maybe it was a Marvel thing. I'm not totally certain. It is missing that part, but you can see that I can feel it, that it's sticky there. So there was probably something that went there, but it looks just as cool without it because you can actually see like his whole forehead and stuff like that there. Super cool, like a turbo function button as well. Nice joysticks, everything great. Super cool coloring and all that, and for that I paid $5. Normally nowadays I have so many controllers for different systems that I really don't pick up a whole lot of controllers, even though I do have more controllers in this video later on, but I just couldn't pass up on this. It's way too cool. It's really strange though, like sitting in your hand just because you're not used to it, but I think once I get used to this, it's going to be a lot of fun. Super cool details on it, that's for sure. Check that out if you haven't seen one before. I think this generally retails probably for like $15 or something like that online, so I couldn't pass it up. Way too awesome right there for $5. Moving on, I also said yesterday that if I went by the Goodwill or the thrift shop that I had stopped in at yesterday, where I picked up all the SNES and NES games, if they still had these three games, that I would pick them up. And when I went back in there, they were still there. So I decided, hey, why not, for the price. So the first one is Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, and for that one I paid $2.02. For another Mario and Duck Hunt, $2.02 as well. not pulling a sleight of hand, there's actually 2 copies of it. And then finally, Captain Skyhawk for $2.02. I decided that was worth it that time around. So for those 3 games, I ended up paying, you know, essentially $6. So not too bad at all. Moving on, something that's totally not video, well, it is video game related, but it's not specifically for video games, although for me it will be, is a Bluetooth headset. I'm thinking that this one will probably work for my PS3. I don't have a Bluetooth microphone yet. I don't have any microphone actually for my PS3, so I decided I would pick this one up. I got this from Taliz today for $15. I thought it was a pretty good deal because it is brand new in there, so I'll have to take this out and just see if I can actually get it to sync up and what the quality is like and things like that for this. But for $15, I thought I would do that, just because most headsets out there are like 20 something and or up, and this one here, you know, might be a little more sensitive than some of the cheaper type of brand ones, so this Motorola one should be pretty good to go. So not too bad at all. I don't even know which direction to go here. There's so many different things that I picked up today, but I'm sure I'll get to all of it. So the next place that I stopped in on was a Value Village, which didn't have a whole lot of stuff really there for me, but there was one item that caught my eye in the electronics, and it's this right here. It is a fat style PS2, which I already have a bunch of these, but this one intrigued me because it does have the network adapter on it, and I think people use that for modding systems and stuff like that. So you know, that alone is worth $15 right there. And then the system itself, I can probably get a decent amount of money. Now this one here has a sticker on it over here that someone has put, and it says warranty void if removed or whatever, but then it says mod on it, November 18th, 03. So I think someone's gotten in there and done like a job on it. So this is probably modded, which I don't really care that much for because I have my own collection of legit games right behind me there. But for that one I paid $6. I couldn't turn it down. Interesting thing about this, when I took it up to the counter, put it on the table, she kind of looked at the price and said, wow, really? Like $6 for that? And I said, well, that's what it's tagged for, that's why I'm bringing it up. And she goes, and she kind of looked over to the side, because I know there was another system that was sitting behind their glass case, and that system there had like the wires and things. It had a bunch of aftermarket controllers and stuff with it, but they wanted $25 for it. So she was surprised that this one was only $6. And I said, well, the reason why I'm buying this is because it's $6. So you know, that's what I'm paying for it basically. And after that, she kind of, you know, started paying attention again to what her job is, which is to ring this thing out. That's what they tagged it for. That's what I was paying for it. I wasn't going to pay any more. I don't really pick up these systems usually. It's just because this one had the network adapter on it, I thought I would. Moving on, I actually went back into the Taliz, but this is what I found first. So I actually bought that Bluetooth headset the second time I was in there. I always do my double take thing. I've explained it in other videos. Because the two stores are side by side, I go to Taliz first, and then I go to the Value Village, and I come back to Taliz. And I always do, just because I've had some luck with that. Actually, I've found a number of different items that are particularly valuable, including my, which you can't see right now over here, my box Virtual Boy that I found there for $10. So just that kind of luck, I always go back in twice. This time I already knew the Bluetooth headset was there, but I ended up buying that. But the first time I went in, I found a couple of really interesting items. I think I'll share them with you right now. The first one is a Halo 3 helmet, but it's in pretty decent shape. I mean, it's got some fingerprints and stuff all over the mask, but it's in pretty decent shape. I paid $10 for it. It has a stand and everything. It's pretty cool. Like, if you haven't seen one of these before, there's the stand right there. The thing with this stand is, I don't know if you can see that, but there's these tiny like scratches all around the top of it, and I'm trying to figure out whether or not that is actually part of it, or if someone's actually scratched this thing. So it's hard for me to tell. So I can't tell if it's mint because it has this like intentional beat up look to it. So I really can't tell sort of what's right and what's beat up. So if you know anything about this, let me know if those little scratches you can see there on the plate are actually supposed to be there. But as far as everything else goes, it's definitely in excellent shape. For 10 bucks, I couldn't leave it sitting there. This is actually sitting in the toy section. So again, you know, one of my tips for hunting, always check out every single section. People leave stuff lying around, which brings me to my next point, which piggyback off of this. So I found this first, and then I went to the video game section as well. I actually always stop there first. There's nothing there. Then I went over to the PC game section, where they usually keep their PC games. And sitting on the shelf by a bunch of VHS tapes was this game right here, which is EA Sports Masters Tiger Woods PGA Tour 12. Now, they had this priced for $5. That's what I paid for it, but I didn't really know a whole lot about it. Now, this game is actually sealed, so I went and I looked it up online just to see if it was worth the $5, and it turns out, and I don't know if this is true or not, but price charting said that this thing was worth around 50 bucks, which is kind of surprising me because this is a Tiger Woods sports title. So anyone that collects for the Wii or something like that, please let me know why this one is so valuable, because I really haven't a clue. Is it a limited edition run or something like that? Like, I really don't know, but why this would still be worth $50 is beyond me, when every other you know, like Tiger Woods game in reality isn't really worth much of anything. So please let me know. And that's pretty cool right there. But again, this wasn't even in the right section. It wasn't bagged. It was sitting with like a bunch of VHS tapes kind of on its side, and that's what caught my attention. So either somebody picked this up from somewhere and then just left it lying there or whatever. I didn't know what it was valued at. But again, if I hadn't have walked over there and sort of checked out that section as well, I would never have seen this. And pretty awesome find if it's worth what I think this is worth. Moving on, I also went to a different value village as well, and the first thing I'll start with here is this copy of Crisis that I found. This one here is the special edition, so it has like you know, the game and then soundtrack and stuff like that in it. So pretty cool right there. It's in excellent shape, and I paid $4 for that. So I'm not really a PC collector, and this will probably never end up being put on my machine or anything like that. But ultimately, I thought this would be pretty cool to pick up if you know, for trading fodder or something like that. And I know that Longshot, you collect these PC kind of games. I don't know if you have this one already or if you're interested in this one, but if you are, man, PM me, because I'm more than willing to do a trade with this for something or other. I just saw it and I couldn't really leave it there. That was the main thing though. Moving on, I actually checked out the glass case first, which I always do, but I'll show you that stuff later because that's really the most, I'd say, impressive stuff of this particular lot that I found. Something that I found there though were these two Wii Remotes. For this, and there's no tag on it right now, but you'll just have to take my word for it. For these two Wii Remotes, I paid $7.99, so $8 for the two. They're in pretty good shape. The Wii condoms are a little, I don't know what you call them, like they're a little bit yellowed, I think, because they're sort of off-colored. I don't know if you can tell that in the video there, but the Wii Remotes themselves are in really excellent shape. They just need to be cleaned up. Pretty good deal right there for, you know, that price. $4 each, basically. Moving on, they also had this copy of Tetris for the Game Boy in their glass case. Now, I originally saw this sitting there, and it had on it one of these kind of tags here, but it said $3.99 on it. So when I told her to take it out of the case, I'd take a look at it anyways, just because I like to hold these things sometimes. So, you know, I got her to take it out of the case, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to buy this for $4 because it's definitely not worth $4. It might be, but it's not really worth it to me for $4. So I'm not really a handheld kind of person. But when I was looking at it, I inspected it, and on the back of it it said $1.99, so it had the tag wrapped around it, said $3.99, and on the back it had this sticker, it says $1.99, which obviously works in my favor because it's right on there. So the lady behind the counter called the manager over, and the manager said, yeah, it's the sticker on the back. She doesn't know how that other one got on there. But for $3.99, I picked up a copy of, or sorry, for $1.99, I picked up a copy of Tetris for the Game Boy. Surprisingly, one of the most common games for the system, but I didn't actually have it in my collection just because I don't usually seek out Game Boy titles necessarily. So pretty cool right there. I do remember playing that back in the day. Another item that they had in the glass case was this copy here of Pokemon Snap, and for that I paid, I believe it was $5.99, so $6, which is basically what it's worth, but I couldn't leave it there. It's pretty minty in the label, maybe a few minor scratches and stuff like that. Not too bad at all. The back looks great as well. So, you know, $5.99 for Pokemon Snap, pretty cool. Moving on. Same thing, came out of the glass case, was a Game Genie. Pretty cool right there. This Game Genie has seen better days, though. It's a little bit beat up, like, I don't know if you can see that, but the back there, sort of the gold kind of part of it is wearing off, but it's not too bad really overall. I'm sure it's going to work. The contacts and everything look good on it, and for that I paid $4.99, so couldn't pass that up for $4.99. Pretty wicked right there. The interesting thing about this Game Genie is that it's the Comerica version, which is not amazing for us Canadians, but I've seen like in numerous YouTube videos where people are like, oh, the Comerica version's like the rarer version of it. And the reason why the Comerica version's rarer is because Comerica version was the ones that were released in Canada. So I think if Americans sort of see this at their thrift shops, stuff like that, they kind of go, oh, that's interesting or whatever, because this is the Canadian one. But here in Canada, I mean, this is the one that we see. So anyways, it's the Comerica version of the Game Genie, which my other one is also a Canadian version as well. Moving on, the final item, probably not the most valuable item, but to me probably the most interesting or valuable in a sense for my collection, because I love collecting for the NES, is this copy right here of Swords and Serpents, the ultimate role-playing game for the NES. And this game here I didn't have in my collection before loose, I don't even think. I'm trying to remember if I do, just because I have like 150 titles. I'm pretty sure I don't, and now I have it absolutely complete, and this thing is like perfect, other than maybe a few like minor wear in the corners, which is bound to happen for something this old, but there's not like a rip or tear anywhere in this, and it is completely complete. Like, it has everything in it. So I'm not going to pull everything out there, but you can see the games there, and there's a map and the manual, and you can see them right there. Otherwise, other than like the plastic wrapping inside, this thing is completely where it's at. You can also, like, because it's sitting up like that, you know that the styrofoam's in the bottom as well. I didn't even bother to take this out. I can see inside that it's really perfect, so I'm just probably going to leave it like that, because this will go with my box collection, which is sitting back here. A very small collection of box games. I don't usually seek them out, but really an awesome find. I don't see this kind of stuff out in the wild too often. This is probably the first boxed NES game that I've actually picked up out in the wild. I did see a while ago, and this is when I first started thrifting, a copy of Zelda for the NES, which was boxed and everything, but it was not in perfect shape, and they wanted $100 for it, so I wasn't about to pick that up, and that was at a Value Village as well. But this one here, I paid $9.99 for, so $10. It's probably what it's worth, but to me it's worth a whole lot more than that. So really happy to pick up a box copy of Swords and Serpents. That being said, that's everything that I've picked up recently. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit long, but hope you stuck around to the end. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Feel free to thumbs up this video and comment down below, and I will see you all later.